The pandemic has been super hard on skin. Just ask anybody who's gotten acne from wearing a mask. They call it maskne. Anyway, we'll be talking to a world-renowned dermatologist about how to take good care of your skin during COVID-19. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Summers in Texas can be hard on skin as it is. You add in the stress of a pandemic and all this wearing of masks, and pretty soon you have some real skin issues. Joining us to talk about that, a world-renowned dermatologist, Dr. Martin Kassir. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for this opportunity. It's really nice as a result of this pandemic to connect and reconnect with local industry leaders like yourself.
Well, thank you. Well, let's talk about, we call it maskne, right? It's mask acne.
Exactly.
How does that happen?
So as a result of COVID-19 and the pandemic, we can break the patient experience into several stages. One, the patient coming into the office and what preparations we take. Second, diseases or conditions you get because of COVID itself, and then also illnesses or conditions you get as a result of measures we take to prevent COVID, such as wearing a mask. So we can begin with that. Due to the pandemic, we have people wearing masks, personal protective equipment, and so forth. So what we see both in patients who never had acne and for patients who are predisposed to it already, wearing a mask covers certain areas of the face so your pores can't drain, the oils can't come out, they get into the skin, and it results in more acne. So when that physical barrier causes that, we call it maskne.
And it's probably a perfect storm. I mean, people are eating comfort food, so they're eating greasy stuff already. Right. You add in the mask, you add in the stress of the pandemic and maybe the loss of a job, and you've got a real recipe for a breakout, don't you?
Yeah. The other skin manifestations that we see as a result of everything you just mentioned, you can get more lesions and sweating and things called seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff on the scalp. As a result of so much hand washing, you can get eczema on your hands. As a result of people losing their help at home or having to stay at home, they have their hands in water all the time. They can get nail or nail fold illnesses. And then, of course, you can get skin manifestations because of the virus itself, whether it's COVID toes or urticaria or hives or rashes related to the disease. So as dermatologists and doctors, we have to be so much more aware and be a detective, because you're no longer looking just for acne, moles, and rashes. You always have to be aware of manifestations that can give you a clue to something more serious like COVID, both for the patient's health and for the health of the people that see them and their families at home. So because of my internal medicine background, I like to call that practicing skin-internal medicine, because the skin's not only your biggest organ of your body, it's also a window into the other organs. So you can't see the lungs, liver, kidneys, brain, but the skin gives you clues, so you always have to be on the lookout for that anyway. COVID's just made the awareness even more important and emphatic.
Yes, and I know you're world-renowned. You've got patients flying in from all over the place, and I know your business is booming because we're looking at Zoom all day. We're actually looking at our face, and we're noticing imperfections. That's probably fueling a lot of new patients.
Well, so that's a great point. Not only your point is a very good one, but the anxiety that patients have about coming in to see a dermatologist or a doctor has increased telemedicine a lot. So the rules for telemedicine have been relaxed. So we have a lot of patients for moles, acne, rashes, and things that you can see doing their initial consult by telemedicine rather than coming into the office. And then if that consult necessitates a procedure or a biopsy, then of course we can get them to come into the office so they can be very safe and still see their dermatologist.
And one of the things I love about you, and I encourage my viewers to go on his social media pages, you are a doctor who likes to educate their patients. And I found a great video you did not too long ago about Botox. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Welcome back to another episode of Ask Dr. Kassir. We're having a follow-up video now of actually demonstrating botulinum toxin injections. So today we're going to demonstrate treatment of the glabellar area, which is this area between the eyebrows. So make that face that gives wrinkles. So we get these 11 lines over here. So we inject into two muscles called the corrugators and the procerus right here. So the patient's been cleaned. Now she's going to ice herself right here, and that's to cause vasoconstriction, so it minimizes bleeding and it helps improve pain. So we're going to do the first injection now right into the procerus. Just like that, just a small little injection. And then we're going to numb this area over here to get all the muscles that cause those lines. So there's multiple muscles involved. Okay, pinch your eyebrows together, relax. Perfect. Other side now. And it's very important to note, everyone doesn't need the same amount of Botox and everyone doesn't need it exactly in the same location. So we have to customize it exactly according to the selected patient's wrinkles, how defined and how deep the wrinkles are, and which muscles are involved in the wrinkle production. Okay. Perfect. So very small injections, very little pain, very little or to no bruising, and it would take about 48 hours to 72 hours for it to show results. So in 2 or 3 days, you won't be able to make that face. Okay. Pain, comments?
No pain at all.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
And I love that you did that, because to me, one of the things that keeps people from coming to the doctor is a fear that they made up a movie of the experience, and you demystified it there. It's a very simple process. And if you're going to somebody who knows what they're doing, you know, you don't have those side effects that so many we see on the news. And talk about the importance of seeing somebody who knows what they're doing and not getting it done at a nail salon.
So first of all, thank you for that. And I want to mention for the audience, that was before COVID. So now, of course, we do masks and so forth. Yeah, that's very important. Just attention to details, to very, very small details is very important. Something can look easy on YouTube or on a video that you see, but customizing treatments to that patient and noting that even patients are asymmetric. So not only all patients are different, but a patient from the right side to the left side can be different. And the next time the patient comes back, it might be different. So it's very important to continue to assess and look for minor details and changes to always do the right treatment and minimize or eliminate complications.
And do your homework and find a good physician. I know that a lot of people are trying to find somebody on Groupon,
Right.
and that's not what you want. You don't want to trust your face to somebody who took a weekend course and suddenly is doing Botox, right?
That's true. I mean, you want to go to board-certified doctors, board-certified dermatologists, and you can Google, and instead of marketing, look if they have published peer-reviewed papers, if they're industry leaders, if their work sometimes sets the tone for what other people do and if they teach other people. So those are all sort of good markers to see who's at the front lines of techniques and procedures in dermatology.
Absolutely, and I told my audience at the beginning, he's world renowned. He's the guy that they call when they need an expert opinion. We've got a clip that we're going to roll, and I'll just have you narrate it for us, of you on Fox News. That's very impressive. So do you enjoy doing the media interviews?
Sure. Teaching and doing media interviews as a way to educate the public and to let them know, peel back the layers of marketing and let them know what's essential and what they need is very important to me, both for other doctors all over the world and the general public. Here you see me with my brother, who's a renowned plastic surgeon in New York City, and we're going over the latest cosmetic surgery procedures and trends. And it's very important for patients to understand they don't always need to get what's hot, what's on the internet. They need to get what's good for them and what's going to give them the best results.
Yes, and I can tell you, so my daughter's now 30, but when she was, I think 22, she was furrowing her brow to try and create a crease to justify Botox.
Right.
So I call it the forever young generation. Right. When I was growing up, I was watching TV shows like Sanford and Son, in which you saw somebody over 40. Right. These days on primetime TV, you barely see a grandpa or a grandma. Right. It's a world of youth.
Yeah. That's a very good point. And the point about your daughter that I want everybody to listen very carefully to is when patients come in wanting something that they don't need, it's very important to sometimes also say no. Not doing something can be the best option sometimes. And people don't realize that. So you want to go to people that will do the best thing for you, not do whatever you want.
Yes. Well, I have to compliment you because your skin is flawless, and
thank you.
and I guess as a dermatologist, you really have to, right? Your face is your billboard.
Yeah, I mean, just like you wouldn't go to a dentist that has crooked teeth,
Yes.
Hopefully a dermatologist has good skin, so at least they know what they're doing.
So what's your routine? Is it cleansing every night? Are you wearing a mask? Or
Right.
Yeah.
So I cleanse my face twice a day with non-allergic soaps. I put sunblock on. I put on an under eye cream, and there's a procedure called microneedling, and I've been doing that for 13, 14 years as maintenance, and I firmly believe preventive maintenance is much more efficacious than letting things go and trying to fix things 10, 20 years down the line. So it's better to not get severe wrinkles and things like that to begin with rather than fix them later. It's always more costly, more downtime, more potential for side effects.
Wow, you've been an amazing guest. We're absolutely going to have you back again and again.
Thank you.
We're going to leave with your website. KassirDermatology.com is the website. Go ahead and get a hold of Dr. Kassir for all of your skin needs. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.